Orphaned Entertainment, a podcast dedicated to public domain and abandoned media. I'm your host, Christopher, and with me is the woman who is never suspect. It's Lydia!
I'm just glad you didn't say the woman who always knows how to kill anything. Hello.
Well, you do smoke those giant cigars. But...
I mean, I am a cigar-smoking fiend. Not really.
Before we go any further, I want to first say thank you to everyone for tuning in. We really do appreciate it. Orphan Entertainment is available wherever you get your podcast, and if you have the option, please consider leaving a rating or review. It really helps more people discover the show. Another great way to spread the word is by sharing the episode you're listening to on your favorite social media platform. We have a YouTube channel where you can watch many of the movies we've discussed on the podcast. Just search for Orphan Entertainment and you'll find us there. If you'd like to reach out, we'd love to hear from you. You can send comments, suggestions, or even a recorded message to orphanedentertainment@gmail.com. You'll find links to all our social media accounts and ways to support the show financially in the show notes. Or just head over to orphanedentertainment.com for everything in one place. And before we go any further, speaking of comments, I just wanted to point out a couple comments that we got. One on our social media. Mark, who's active on Blue Sky and on our Discord server, watched the last film we discussed, the Swing High, Swing Low.
Yes.
And he said that this is one of those romantic comedies where I just really wish the woman would take everyone's advice and forget about the romantic lead. Men are trash.
Oh.
Most of the funny moments are right at the beginning, and the rest is just chaotic heartache. Mm-hmm. I think we could have just, if he had watched the film and said that before we were recorded, I think we could have just said that and not had a really short episode.
It would have been a 60-second episode.
The next thing I wanted to read is a comment. Our podcast is also available to listen on YouTube. It is not a video cast, so it's a static picture, but the audio is there. We got a really great comment on our episode of Darkened Rooms.
Oh.
A user MWORR. That's the only problem with the YouTube comments is they're not names. He was talking about, they were talking about Neil Hamilton. Neil Hamilton is an actor who needs to be rediscovered and appreciated. Not only is he handsome, his voice is just so delightful, authoritative, and sensitive. Ditto for the marvelous Evelyn Brent, the prototype for Barbara Stanwyck. The spiritualist, psychic racket, scamming grieving people out of their money is still as relevant in the 21st century as it was in 1929. There were numerous films devoted to this problem. The Charlatan in 1929, Hole in the Wall with Claudette Colbert, or Colbert probably in 29, and Supernatural in 1933 with Carol Lombard are a few. Darkened Rooms, a rather pedestrian studio programmer, but made very interesting by both principals.
That is a lot of fun,
very nice. So if you're listening, thank you very much for leaving that awesome comment. I appreciate that. I'm going to be kind of keeping my ear to the rail on the YouTube channel for any more comments, and if any comments on the films pop up that are particularly interesting, I'm going to start sharing those more often.
Yeah, absolutely. Those are so fun. I know we say it pretty much every episode, but I don't we're not putting out there contentious views to try and get people to engage with us, right? That's not what you guys are here to hear. It's
hot take. Yeah.
right. Nobody's gonna, fun fact, love that guy, by the way, but we're not doing any of that. So anytime somebody is enthusiastic enough or passionate enough to make an actual comment, either on Discord, on YouTube, anywhere else, it's so fun for us. So thank you for listening, and especially thank you for commenting.
Yeah, absolutely. So with that, let's listen to an Ellery Queen 1-minute mystery and a promo for another podcast. And when we return, we'll see if we can uncover the mystery of 1935's Midnight Phantom.
Ellery Queen's Minute Mysteries. This is Ellery Queen with a case I call the Sunken Moment. A research firm that dealt in offshore oil exploration had lost a midget submarine, an accident which might have been caused by human error, mechanical failure, or sabotage on board. I learned that one of the men on board had pulled the necessary vents after he saw a green light flash indicating the hatches were closed. A second crewman had verified this. With these facts, you can determine whether it was mechanical failure, human error, or sabotage. In a moment, I'll explain.
Hi, I'm Jeff Owens.
And I'm Richard Chamberlain. And we want you to join our club, the Classic Horrors Club.
Every month, Richard and I host the Classic Horrors Club podcast, where we talk about our favorite subject, horror movies.
Some of them are classics.
We all go a little mad sometimes.
And some definitely aren't.
What you see is real. What's done is done, and what I've done is right. It's the work of science.
But we love them all the same. We also have special theme months where we highlight the legendary stars.
And we head to the drive-ins of the past every summer for exciting double and triple features.
Hi, I'm Chili Dilly, the personality pickle.
And we even have occasional guests.
My obsession, and it is truly an obsession, I suppose, of Frankenstein, the True Story dates back to when it first aired in 2 parts on NBC in 1973.
So join the fun and listen to the Classic Horrors Club podcast today. Hosted by SoundCloud, we're available wherever fine podcasts are found. And for even more fun, check out the video companion on our YouTube channel.
And remember,
we sincerely appreciate your patronage and hope we've succeeded in bringing you an enjoyable evening of entertainment.
In the case of the sunken moment, sabotage on board is ruled out because the saboteur would have endangered his own life. Human error isn't the answer because of the double check. No, mechanical failure was the villain. Want to be a detective? Listen again to Ellery Queen's Minute Mystery.
Midnight Phantom was directed by Bernard B. Ray from a story and screenplay written by John T. Neville. The film was released by Reliable Pictures. The film had an original runtime of 1 hour and 6 minutes, I believe, from what I can tell from things like IMDb and such, but all the versions I could find fell several minutes under the 60-minute mark. It is obvious when watching the film where small segments have been lost. The film stars Reginald Denny as Professor David Graham, Jim Farley as Police Chief James Sullivan, Claudia Dell as the chief's daughter Diana, or Diane Sullivan. The credits give her name as Diane, but I believe she's Diana in the film. Mm-hmm. And Lloyd Hughes as Lieutenant Dan Burke. The film opens with the police chief James Sullivan pulling many of his officers onto the carpet. While he thinks he has a fine group, he wants to shake things up and get his officers and detectives to work even harder to clean up the city. One by one, they go in to get an earful. All the scolding and assignment changes leaves the entire department in a bad mood and not feeling too great towards the chief. Lieutenant Dan Burke arrives and barges into the office in between these dress-down sessions and asks the chief for permission to marry the chief's daughter Diana. The chief, while mentioning that there was another suitor, professor and criminologist David Graham, he's happy that his daughter has chosen Dan and gives his permission. Later, there's a shootout and a car chase after a bank robbery. When the robber's car careens off the road, Dan discovers that one of the men was his own brother, who apologized to Dan and explains that it was his first job before he dies from his injuries. Chief Sullivan tells Dan that he is revoking his permission for Dan to marry his daughter due to the stigma that may be attached to having a brother who was a criminal. Dan refuses to end their marriage, to which the chief tells him that as long as he is alive, Dan will not marry the daughter. After a midnight demonstration arranged by the chief to show his men Professor Graham's ability to determine criminals' behavior just by looking at them, the chief is discovered dead, and after a closer examination, that he's been murdered. Now, with a room full of suspects, each with a motive and opportunity, it's down to sorting the bad blood from the real killer. Reginald Denny is our top-billed star. While a prolific performer, we have so far only seen him in a small role in 1934's Of Human Bondage, which was quite a while ago. Mm-hmm. He was born in England and began his stage work there. He began his film career in 1915 with the World Film Company and made films in both England and the U.S. A well-known silent star, he moved to talkies and became a prolific character actor and appeared alongside some big names, including Katharine Hepburn in The Little Minister from 1934, Greta Garbo in 35's Anna Karenina, and later in his career, Frank Sinatra in one of his crime drama films, 1966's Assault on the Queen. He made several appearances on television throughout the 50s and 60s, and his final appearance was as Commodore Schmidlap in the 1966 Batman film. And it's so funny. Reginald Denny, I was like, I know that name. We must have seen him before, but yeah, only this small role. Why do I know this name? Batman.
That would be why. Nice.
Lloyd Hughes set out to be an actor early in his life, and his handsome, clean-cut appearance soon gained him recognition with filmmakers and audiences. His first role as a leading man was opposite Mary Pickford in the silent drama Tess of the Storm Country. Hughes worked steadily from 1918 until his retirement from film in 1939. And actually, all our actors in this film had prolific careers and appeared in some cases hundreds of films, but all were just essentially studio character actors.
So interesting.
I'll just add this little bit of trivia. A Spanish language version was filmed simultaneously as this one, El Crimen de Medianoche, or El Fantasma de Medianoche. This was often done in the 1930s in order to have product for foreign markets. A separate crew and cast would utilize the same script and sets as the English version, and often film at night after the first crew had wrapped for the day. The small role of Johnny, the dying brother of Dan, or in this case Alberto, was played by Carlos Montalban, the older brother to actor Ricardo Montalban.
Wow, that's fun. That is really cool.
I'd be really curious to try to dig up the Spanish language version. They're usually kind of interesting to see the difference between, the two crews putting together. Famously, my monster cred has just left me. 1931's Dracula.
Oh.
Also had a Spanish language version done. And there's a lot of people, including myself, that think the Spanish language is actually a superior film to the English language Dracula.
Wow, that would be fascinating to watch. It would be credible to expect that the Spanish version of this film might be better as well.
That would be really nice. We picked this, and I'm sure we read a synopsis and thought, oh, okay, that sounds interesting. Well, it sounds like a crime drama, a mystery film. And this is a very pedestrian, it filled the studio and put something in the theaters kind of feel to the film.
That's such a kind way to put it. I want to read just... I know that you did your synopsis. I want to read the synopsis from IMDb. A newly hired police chief vows to clean up a notoriously corrupt police department. When he's murdered, investigators find that there's no shortage of suspects, most of them being fellow cops. That sounds like a phenomenal movie. That
exactly.
is not the movie we watched.
And that is the problem with IMDb being able to be edited by users, by just anybody. I think it's really, I'm going to take it upon myself. I just feel like it's my duty to go in and put a more correct synopsis in place.
Yes.
To stop other people from falling into the same trap we did.
Yeah, it definitely, what we read was dramatically different from what we watched. Now, is it entirely inaccurate? Yes.
Yeah. Actually, other than that last line,
it says inspectors find. That doesn't happen. Inspectors don't come in looking for the culprit. Literally, I guess we should back up a little bit. And before I start giving away all of the oats at the end of the movie, let's go to the beginning of the movie. Let's talk about that a little bit. I think the word we're looking for is red herring, or is it barrel of fish, or is it barrel of red herrings? Because the way this movie begins is painfully obvious.
Mm-hmm.
It's just potential murderer after potential murderer, and it's not just them showing up and you as the viewer are getting to kind of unravel why each one might be a suspect later in the movie when there's obviously a murder that's going to happen because we're told blatantly like 6 times in a row in like 6 different conversations a murder's gonna happen later. I think my favorite one is Burke is is told, oh yeah, you can marry my daughter, you're a great guy, and he says, you don't know how much I thank you, and you never will. This is like 2 minutes into the movie, and you're like, wow, guys, it's called foreshadowing, not for hitting you in the face with a brick.
The weirdest thing is, despite the fact that we follow man after man going into that room and being yelled at by the chief and being, well, you're going to be reassigned and you're going to do this and you screwed that case up and I want you to try harder, and everyone's, I won't be sorry to see his funeral, all that. As soon as the actual murderer walks into the office, I'm like, he did it.
I wasn't that keyed in on it. I was a little focused on, there's a guy that gets raked over the, he has been, let me see if I can get this right, tried and found guilty of abandoning his post-op post. So his wife has had a baby, I guess. He had some time off. He's been tried in a court of law for not being either at work or with his wife. I can't tell which one. And the explanation is that his wife had a birthday. I'm so confused. And the chief then pulls him aside and says, I'm just mad that you didn't invite me to the birthday party. I am so confused by this entire piece of dialogue. I don't even know what's going on at this point, except we're supposed to very, very clearly and obviously see that the chief is this gruff, tough guy that you can't get anything past. Oh, but he's also good buddies with a couple of the guys and goes to their Sunday lunches and gets their kids' birthday presents. So he's a stand-up, really good guy who also, by the way, the doctor can tell just by looking at his eyes, he must be able to see perfect vision.
The doctor coming in and going, oh, let me have a listen to your heart. Oh, perfect. Wait, that's it?
Nothing wrong here.
No.
Your blood pressure, you're as healthy as a horse. Your eyes, well, you can see in the dark. Like, what? And
it's no exaggeration that it's in that kind of rapid fire fashion.
I genuinely, if I had a nickel for every time I've gone to the doctor and this has happened,
you'd owe 15 cents.
I would be in deep debt. So, yeah, I mean, they're like setting up, first of all, he's made a bunch of people mad. Second of all, his secretary's mother, who happens to be on the force and, quote, therefore carries a gun, unquote, just said in passing. Oh, Lordy. It is also her mother thinks that they're secretly getting it on, and she wants him to marry her.
I don't know that they're not. It's
never find out.
No, you don't find out, but there's a line from the chief. He's talking to somebody.
Like her, I'm terribly fond of her, but not enough to marry her.
Yeah, that doesn't say we're just friends to me.
And I think this is a great example of how, first of all, the dialogue in this movie contends with Star Wars Episode 1 in its level of badness.
I don't like sand.
Pure horror.
Oh, that's 3. Or is that 2?
Is that number 2? Okay. Now, this is pod racing, guys. This movie, this is pod racing. Oh, jeez. So, the dialogue is extremely clumsy, and it just, like, it takes the dead horse, and it gives everybody in the room a baseball bat. Every person in the room. And so you're to a point where you understand that there's 50 people in the world that want to kill this man, even though he's genuinely a good guy. And he now wants his daughter to marry another guy, but agrees to let her marry the first guy. There's a lot of, it's so overdone that it's painful. They could have done without 50% of the suspects, and with a little bit more plot, and maybe
absolutely
one more location to film at.
No, absolutely. We spend, I think, 15 minutes going with the berating session, one after another, and it doesn't even really work because everyone's mad at him. But then when he's all done, he comes out and says,
"Gentlemen, I am proud to say that we have one of the finest police forces in the country. I know it's not 100%, but I don't know of anything that is. I have seen fit to make some changes today for the benefit of the department in general and officers individually. Some of you may not like it. If not, I'm sorry. I want to congratulate you on having solved a large percentage of crime. Furthermore, I want you to make this town so hot for the crook that he'll find it an unhealthy place to nest in. Do your duty. And as long as I head this department, your jobs will be safe. That's all."
That kind of speech, it seems like that would diffuse a lot that everyone was kind of feeling at that moment.
Yes.
You know, this is the chief that is, I gotta be tough because I'm the chief and I want, I don't want crime to happen in my city.
Yeah.
So I have to be tough. But look, I like you guys. I think you're doing a bang up job. I just put in that little extra effort.
Yeah.
Like, that should diffuse a lot of this, oh, I want to see him dead.
Yeah, there's way overreaction going on here. And in case you guys are wondering why we're belaboring this point, it's because there's not a lot else to talk about in this movie. There's just a lot of suspects.
It feels like half the movie.
It feels like you... I want to repeat what you just said because it's true, but I don't have to because you just said it. And so then, by the way, before that, by the way, cop cars. Oh my gosh, the dispatcher.
Calling car 71, car 71. Go to 22nd and St. Anne Street, 22nd and St. Anne Street, a barking dog. Calling car 36, car 36. Go to 59th and Rampart, 59th and Rampart. A drunken man beating up his wife. That is all. Hello, Dan.
All right, Jones. What's doing?
Oh, just enough to interrupt a good story. Barking dogs, crowing roosters, fainting woman, 3 prowlers, guys beating up themselves, half a dozen drunks, and a cat up a phone pole and won't come down.
Oh, but that looks funny.
What looks funny?
Half a dozen drunks and a cat up a phone pole. Must be a polecat.
Oh, you're pulling something on me, huh? Here's something interesting. Calling car 22, car 26, car 31, car 47. Disregard all other calls. Go to 72nd and D Street, 72nd and Weaver Street. Bank holdup. Bank holdup.
Car 64, go to the corner of whatever. There's a barking dog. Car 136, go to the corner of whatever and ever. There's a drunk man beating his wife. And then when his buddy comes in to chew the fat, we'll say that, to chew the fat, he says, oh, this place, it's just boring stuff after boring stuff. I'm like, you literally just dispatched a car to somebody who's beating his wife. But you know what I thought? I thought this is 1935. The man, by law, has the right to beat his wife if he wants to, as long as he uses the right size stick.
Oh, so this is definitely a product of its time where women are effectively property of the men.
I don't
whether it's the wife being beaten because it's the he even makes a comment later that makes it sound like it's the wife's fault that the guy's beaten on her.
Oh my god.
And then, of course, the daughter, well, no, you can't marry him. Yes, you can marry him. No, you can't marry him because you're mine.
This is the Regency era. We didn't know. But turns out this movie's actually set in the Regency era. Holy cow. So, and then you jump into a car chase scene because the bank has been getting robbed. Okay, finally something exciting. Yes, a bank robbery. No. 30 seconds later, they roll a couple of cars down a hill and a bunch of guys just die because rolling cars immediately means you die.
Did you watch the version that's on our YouTube, or did you find it somewhere else?
I watched two different versions. I watched ours, and I watched, I think, Pizza Flicks. Shout out to Pizza Flicks. No association, but...
When the car rolled off the embankment or whatever, did the sound do something really weird?
You mean like the honking of a clown's nose? I'm just joking. I didn't notice. I really, although.
Well, the whole time you've got the roaring of the siren and everything, but when the car goes off the cliff for whatever reason, at least in the version that I watched, which is the same one that's on our YouTube channel, it goes.
It's a siren winding down, isn't? Yeah, like a to crank them.
Yeah, but it's the criminal's car that's going off the edge, I thought.
This movie...
I thought.
I think the next scene is my favorite. We'll talk about it in just a second. The sound effects and things in this movie are very crude. And I don't mean inappropriate. I mean very roughly done. So yeah, it wouldn't surprise me at all. That sounds familiar to me, but I guess I just assumed that as soon as they drove the criminals off the embankment, they just stopped winding the siren.
Okay.
Because, good, we shoved them off a cliff. We don't need to keep cranking this thing. And then Johnny is just there on the ground. And you're not told who Johnny is, by the way.
No.
He's just this Johnny. No, Johnny. Why did you do it? Why are you here, Johnny? And then he's, guys, I can't get over this. I'm sorry. I can't unsee it. He's talking to this guy. This guy is dying. And he stuffs his hand in the guy's jacket, feels his chest for a second, and then takes his hand out, and then Johnny goes, I feel much better now. What is going on? I know where my mind went with that, but what in the heck? I mean, little affection goes a long way.
Yeah. No, that was obviously Johnny was starting to pass. So, the pain's going away, and now it's getting dark, and
it just was
so quiet
weird.
And peaceful.
Yeah, so many levels of weird. I feel like there was a director credited on this movie, but I feel like he was probably at lunch for most of it. They were like, what should we do now? I don't know, just pretend you're trying to save him.
Yeah, there's so many moments where it feels like a poor high school production.
Yes. Not like a good high school production. There are a lot of good high school productions out there. This is not one of them. It feels very, very amateur. So then we cut from this random kid whom we have no idea why he knows Burke at all, dying horrifically by the police driving him off a cliff, because that's what they did in the 1930s. Let's be honest. How do you stop a criminal? You shoot at him or you drive him off a cliff. That's what you did.
Shoot at him a lot on an open road.
And I'm being facetious, right? I am really not knocking police officers. Appreciate what you guys do. And I think there were a lot of good ones back in the day. But in this particular movie, no, they just drive him off the road and shoot at him a lot. So we cut from that to Diana in this really, really, really nice house playing the piano.
Mm-hmm.
And this must be one of the scenes where you're saying they lost some of the film, but it literally is like she's just sitting behind a piano and
she teleports.
Somebody playing music over a loudspeaker is what it sounds like. It doesn't look like she's playing. There's no effort going into at least pretending to be playing or anything. I get flashbacks to Austin Land where they're playing the tape player and the girl's pretending to play the piano and singing along with it. And then it just cuts off, just abrupt stop. Right. And then she gets up and walks over, I thought the music just hard cut. And then she gets up and moves. You think that they're simultaneous?
I don't remember her getting up. I think if I remember right, it was like a hard cut where she was sitting and suddenly she teleports and she's standing in front of Burke.
Yeah, that makes me feel a little better because it felt, like you said, like a bad high school production where they're like, well, just angle the piano and people won't be able to see that she's not really playing. And then they just switch off the tape deck. You hear the click and everything.
Yeah, you hear the click.
And so
in this film, it would have been like, and we're done.
back it up. No, we can just fast forward. So then Burke is there because he just comes over whenever he wants to, and he's a little sad, and we know he just saw a kid from his neighborhood die. What we don't realize until we see the headlines of the newspaper is that this is his little brother. His little brother just died in his arms hours ago. And she's like, oh, darling, we're engaged. Aren't you so happy? And he's like, oh, yes, I'm so happy. What the crap, bro? Your brother just died in your arms and you're chilling with your girl and like, I'm just so happy. What planet are these people on? Like, what planet are these people on?
The plot relies so heavily on giving Burke a motive that they do the whole, oh, your brother was a criminal and so you can't marry the chief's daughter because of the stigma thing. And it's like, man, I feel like you're putting a lot into that. I don't know that this would be a thing in any period. But this film just hammers it over and over and over.
Been, but not like this. Not to this extent. This is crazy.
Of course, Dan, you'll release my daughter from the engagement.
Release? Release Diana?
Yes. 'Tis the only honorable thing you can do.
But I love her.
All the more reason why you should free her from a compromising situation.
But I can't understand why I should be blamed for something my brother did.
Then why did you deliberately conceal his identity?
Because I knew the people wouldn't understand. Even Diana might not.
I like you, Burke. Liked you well enough to give my consent to your marriage to my only child. Please understand me. It isn't because your brother was killed. I'm very sorry that happened. Duty is a hard work, but his being a criminal makes it impossible.
But Johnny wasn't a real criminal. He was forced into it. He's only a kid.
You know the law, Dan. A man was murdered, and he participated in the crime. Why, everybody would point out Diana as the wife of a man whose brother was a murderer.
I'll tell Diana and let her decide for herself.
You've already deceived her once by not telling her the truth.
Well, I'll not release her.
Yes, you will, Burke. You'll not trick my daughter into any marriage like this.
You can do anything you like, but it won't do you any good. I love Diana and she loves me. And nobody is going to come between us. Not even you, Chief.
Well, and then they go to the fact that goes so far that Burke doesn't tell Diana because somehow she's not going to find out or something. And then when she does find out, she's not sure she wants to marry Burke because he didn't tell her.
What are you two quarreling about?
Your father is asking me to release you from our engagement. Diana, you'll be fair. You love me, darling.
I don't know what to say. Please let me think things over.
I tell you, Burke, you'll never marry her as long as I'm alive.
Oh, Dad. Dad, please be reasonable. Let me work things out in my own way.
I don't want you to marry into a family with a criminal record.
It isn't that, Dad. What hurts me is that the man I love tried to deceive me before our marriage.
Oh, she's so shocked she drops the paper. Like, I'm surprised she doesn't faint. Because when you find out that somebody... Okay, let's be real here now, kids. If my partner didn't tell me something horrible just happened in his family, and I saw it on the front page of a newspaper, I would be horrified, but I wouldn't be like, oh, why didn't you tell me? You don't love me. I'd be like, are you okay? Wow.
I was going to say, where's a little bit of sympathy from the woman who supposedly loves him for the fact that he was just responsible for the death of his little brother?
Yeah, or could have been, for all he knows. This was not written by a woman. We do not have to stretch at all. I mean, we know from the credit that it wasn't written by a woman, but I mean, the way that women communicate is the first thing we do is go, are you okay? We don't go, oh no, that's going to reflect horribly on you in the future. Like, oh my goodness. So yeah, this, I can go with the whole, your brother was a criminal, I'm not sure I want you marrying my daughter. I can't go with the whole, I'm going to pretend everything's fine, even though I just held my brother as he died, and just not tell the girl that I'm about to marry. How do you even walk into somebody's house without being intensely distraught from that, or at least slightly morose? I mean, like, maybe a little bit sad. Maybe you're just not smiling, okay? Yeah. So he says, I'm going to marry her. He says, I'm going to marry her anyway.
Don't go into that song.
I was trying to remember the words, and yeah, like, oh, yeah. Yeah, he sings that song.
And that just stops because we have a midnight profiling session with our criminologist, David Graham.
Profiling being the active word.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yep.
Hey, you look shifty. You must be guilty. That is pretty much this guy's...
No, you can tell by the shifty eyes and the weak forehead that he's violent.
As the prisoners are paraded by him, he will classify them by their physical characteristics. We'll see whether the deductions agree with our records. Ladies and gentlemen, Professor David Graham.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm afraid that Chief Sullivan has rather put me on the spot. However, I'll do my best to justify his opinion of my ability. All right, Captain Withers. Not a criminal by instinct, but easily duped into crime by keener minds. Retarded mental growth.
Charge. Arrested on suspicion of theft. Record. Served 2 years in state reformatory. 18 months in the Good Shepherd Home for the feeble-minded.
Oh, come on. Had his mind been alert, he would never have attempted violence at such an inopportune moment. This type plays a major role in modern crime. Note the thin, sallow face, the listless expression and shifting gaze. He is a very dangerous individual and will commit any crime. He's a drug addict.
Charge. Arrested for violation of the Harrison Narcotic Act. Now under arrest on suspicion of gang murder.
The larger girl is aggressive. If started on a life of crime, she would actively participate with male criminals, drive a bandit car, act as lookout, might possibly use a lethal weapon. The smaller girl has no initiative, just prefers the easy life.
Charge. The taller girl arrested on suspicion of robbery, known to be a gambler's moll. The smaller girl arrested on a vagrancy charge.
Not a criminal type at all. I wouldn't mind having a dinner date with her. That is, if she'd accept the date.
Maybe you'd better introduce us first, Captain Withers.
Professor Graham, my daughter, Mary. How do you do?
I'm happy to meet you.
Well, was your dad in on this deal to baffle science?
No, it was my own idea, wasn't it, Father?
This is beyond problematic. Oh no, there's a line even, oh gosh, there's such a great line in it. Diane, this is her dad talking. He's talking to one of the guys before this demonstration that Graham is supposed to do. And he says about his own daughter, Diana's hard-headed and soft-witted. This is the kind of people we're dealing with right here. That's the chief, by the way, the really good guy in this. The one that, is doing a great job with his. And then, well, we'll get to the next quote in a little bit. But the level of chauvinism in this movie is and I don't think it is just a product of this time. It is a product of its time.
Oh, no. It is thick even for 1935.
It's not trying to be even slightly respectful toward women or minorities in any way whatsoever, or little brothers for that matter. Like, at all. It's just so wild to me. So we go into this intense profiling session where Graham is magically able to, just by looking at a person, know exactly the type of crime that they committed, which is real. That's a real thing. You can look at a person and just by looking at them know what kind of crime. This is totally bunk. This is just ridiculous. It's if it were that easy, I mean, I don't think we don't even need to tell you guys that this is, of course, complete fake science. There's so much fake science in this movie. For a movie that has no science in it, there's so much fake science.
This was another scene where definitely a couple minutes was lost. The first guy that gets brought in, Graham goes to start his profile, and immediately cuts to the police officer actually reading the guy's arrest record. So there's definitely a jump, and some missing footage there and everything. This is another thing where I'm kind of glad that we lost those 2 minutes, because this is because they go through 3 or 4 more people.
Yeah. It's, yeah. And then we actually get to the murder. Thank God, finally.
Finally, in the last 20 minutes of the film.
Yeah, I'm the dispatcher now. Thank God something interesting is finally happening. Kill another one.
But then it is so convoluted from this point forward. The chief is murdered, and they think it's his heart, but oh no, I was in the office when the doctor, quote unquote, signed him off, said he was healthy as a horse. There was no problem. And turns out he was murdered. And they do an autopsy within an hour. And he
within
comes back
5 minutes. Yeah.
Yeah. And the doctor comes back, and I know exactly how it was done, and then falls dead. Yes. Wait, what the hell just happened?
Yeah. Yeah. When I rewatched it, I will give them this. They do carry through with how the doctor died. I was paying attention the second time because I was like, okay, first of all, it's instant neurotoxin. The second it scratches your skin, you're dying neurotoxin, which I don't think actually exists. But for the sake of a 1930s movie, we'll let that pass, okay? But they do actually provide a viable way for him to have died. And they do actually carry it through in the movie, so give them that. And the way that they find out who it was, you're right, this is the most convoluted murder I have ever seen in my life. It's literally a murder that happens so that somebody can say that somebody was murdered. There's no reason for this murder to happen. Even if we're assuming, do we want to not tell people how it ended? Do you guys care?
I don't.
Tell us right now
care.
if you care. If
we've already kind of spoiled so much.
Yeah, raise your hand if you care. If you don't care, okay, we're just going to spoil it.
We're going to keep talking and spoil this thing.
Go watch it and come back, but it's not worth it. So yeah, okay, let's see if we can piece this together in order. Let's see how good we are. Okay, Chief dies. Daughter goes and says, "Come on, Daddy, time to get up." Oh no, he's dead. Because she knows, because she's also a doctor. Mm-hmm. And so, she's not, by the way. And so they're like, "Nobody touch the body. Quick, come touch the body." So they somehow, then they decide, oh, no, Graham says, no, he was definitely murdered because I was in the office when the doctor was there and looked at him and said, "You're never going to die." And right, I'm on track so far. And then they say, okay, everybody in the room, stay in the room. We're all police. By the way, every person in this building is either the police or the daughter of a policeman. Everybody stay in the room. And by the way, write down your suspicions on a piece of paper and turn them all in. We'll read them. Don't sign them. If you think somebody might have murdered him, now's the time to turn this in. I watched a YouTube video like this today, actually, which is totally unrelated and ironic. They were playing a murder game, and it just went just like this. And so everybody turns in their accusations of each other. So we get to go through the first 15 minutes of the movie again, but in a shorter version, in a shorter format. The guy that we already knew didn't do it because he inherited his grandma's money, magically produces the letter. The guy that we don't think did it because he's too obvious and is glaring death at everybody, somehow we exonerate him. The mother who's a bad suspect from the beginning because she wants the chief to marry her daughter, so she actually would have been the first person I would have said she didn't do it for the reasons that I've just explained. And so now we're down to the daughter, who has never been a suspect because she's blonde and pretty. The fiance, who we've worked incredibly, incredibly hard to make a suspect. And that's it. There are no other suspects left. And so it must be him. And also he has the weapon mysteriously in his pocket. Now, that moment when he pulls the weapon out of his pocket, I was like, oh, wow, he did it. And then he's like, darling, just do whatever I tell you because you're a woman. And she says, okay, it's 1935, why not?
What else do I have to do?
Right? I literally have no brain cells, just like my dad said. I guess he must have been right because he's a man. And so he goes up front, and the guy, and Graham goes, you did it because you're a crazy person. And Burke goes, no, I didn't. Now, Diana. And she flips the lights off. There's a smash. The lights come back on, and Burke's dead on the floor. Am I tracking so far? Did I miss anything important? And Graham says, I knew he did it, and I'll tell you how I knew. It was those shifty eyes. I don't think he actually says it was those shifty eyes. What in the world? So he just randomly is like, he did it. He's the bad guy, and it's all because he wanted to marry Diana. And then Burke pops up and is like, you just admitted it. Yeah, now we already knew that Graham makes cigars because the director decided you had to force that into our faces in the first 10 minutes of the movie.
And to me, that's what gave it away. As soon as Graham comes into the chief's office, says, oh, well, here, have a cigar. And the chief says, oh, you still make your own and everything. And
my father taught me how when I was a boy. And I'm like, obviously, this is a thing. Yeah.
Yeah. But no, as soon as they brought that fact into the thing about him rolling his own cigars and everything, I thought he did it.
Yeah.
I knew it was going to be poison. I thought he was poisoning the chief right then and there.
That would have been brilliant.
I thought it was going to be like a slow acting. For the next 5 minutes, I kept waiting for the chief to fall over dead.
Yeah.
From a poisoned cigar or something like that.
That would have been brilliant.
But not this film. This film has to go to the trouble of a cigar that's been rolled around a small pipette that's got a dart inside.
The size of a needle.
that can be blown.
With an instant neurotoxin.
Yeah.
And so then, so it's Graham. Graham is the bad guy. Huzzah, we caught him. Wow, great. And then there's another scene.
Yeah, the film doesn't end.
Yeah, for some reason the film goes on to show Diana and Burke having a picnic together saying, oh, thank goodness it's not 6 months ago anymore. Everything is perfect now. Now, we didn't see the brother's funeral, which I'm really disappointed about. I feel like the brother was the strongest character in this movie.
That he was in for 2 minutes.
Yeah, but he had motivation. He had a real role in the film. He had, purpose. He needed to make money. It was his first job.
Yeah, I want his story.
The most interesting character in the whole movie, and he was alive for 30 seconds and got his chest felt up. And that was it.
Yeah, I want his story. The little brother of a cop. What drives him to get involved with someone that's going to rob a bank.
Okay, now wait, though. Let's think about this. He's Burke's little brother. I don't think it's a stretch. Burke's not that bad. Honestly, genuinely. Oh, gosh. I got to get you guys that other quote. There was one other quote in this when they're saying, oh, they think that the mother, maybe the mother did it. And I love Graham. Graham goes, women aren't expert enough to do a job of that kind. They kill rather crudely.
Yes.
This is the most chauvinistic dude I have ever met, except for possibly Diana's father. They were made for each other. I want their romance. I want the chief police and Graham to get together. I would read that. And no, this is so bizarre. And then right after he says that, right after Graham says women are too dumb to kill, Mary, her name's not Mary, it's Diana. Diana's like, he must have used a fast-burning pipette to shoot a poison dart to kill him. What the crap? And she's like all like happy. Her father is dead within like an hour. And she's just like, I figured something out. And he says, I told you before, darling, a mere man hasn't a chance against a woman's intuition. You just said women are too stupid to kill. What the crap, dude? Oh my gosh, this movie. This is a fun movie to yell about because the level of pig-headed chauvinism is so off the charts that you really can't even take it seriously. I feel like the person that wrote this was probably drunk on a deadline and like angry at their wife.
Yeah. This is, you're right. No, this is we need something in the theaters yesterday. Make me a film. Here, scratch this out, film it, print it, done.
Yeah, this was a 2-day film for sure. If it was more than 2 days, I'd be shocked. Everything about this movie is so incredibly bad. The blocking. There's how many times does somebody in the movie say something, walk 6 steps, turn back and look at somebody, and then the person goes, oh, by the way. The person that they're looking at goes, oh, by the way. I mean, you have space in there to go, line.
Yeah, I was just going to say.
Yeah, maybe they do. It's so bad. The blocking is horrible. The framing is probably the only thing in this movie that's decent. The script is horrible. The direction is horrible. I don't mind Burke, honestly. I actually don't mind Graham. I think the actors are fair enough. Honestly, the actors in this, aside from Diana, and this, I don't know if this is just a complete lack of direction or what, but overall, they're okay. Like, if they had been given decent lines to read and a decent plot to follow, I might not have hated them as actors, right? But everything else about this is just painful.
The beginning of the film also has a lot of, not only is it chauvinistic with Diana, there are so many stereotypes introduced at the beginning of the film. We didn't even talk about that. You know, we've got Police Inspector Silverstein, the Jewish cop. We've got the Italian cop. We've got the chief who is so Irish.
Yes. Yeah.
The actor was born in Arkansas. I don't think
the French guy whose grandma died in Paris. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't think of anything in this movie that's not problematic. Even if you want to pick on the police chief's house, how did a police chief get that house?
He's doing pretty good for himself there, isn't he?
He is, especially seeing as he's like knuckling down on the whole thing, and then he starts yelling at one guy, the French guy, for building too nice of a house, and then you see Diana in his house, and you're like, whoa, stones, glass houses, what? Wow. There's nothing, I can't think of anything in this movie that's not problem. I mean, Burke is too good of a good guy.
Mm-hmm.
And I would have liked Graham as a villain if he had any kind of a decent role. I could see this actor doing a good job as a villain. But he's British, you know. Yeah. They're good villains.
Even though he doesn't, he still looks like the kind of villain that I'm pretending not to be the bad guy, but I'll twirl my mustache and
I think, it is entirely possible, too, that I just get sucked in by the accent. And I'm like, oh, he must be a good guy. No, he's not. So, yeah. Okay, let's do a challenge here. We have to say something good about this movie.
There was 10 minutes missing.
Best thing about this movie is the 10 minutes we didn't have to see. Johnny's a strong contender. He could have been a contender. If only he'd survived, poor kid. There's got to be something. There's got to be something good about this movie. The end. That it ends.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I was going to say, I don't even really like the ending.
It's horrible. They're married in a park, nobody around. They go to kiss and then they stop and look around like teenagers who just got walked in on by their parents.
They're both remorseful that, yes, Graham did something horrible, but they didn't want him to die because they were reading the paper that he had been... Yeah. Did he kill himself, or was that he was sentenced to the electric chair or whatever?
No,
did he actually
I'm pretty sure they said he took the easy way out.
Oh, okay.
I'm not 100% sure, but I have that in my head. So, yeah, no, I think they said, oh, he took the easy way out. Oh, but we didn't want him to die. And also, by the way, we're married, but we're ashamed to kiss one another because it's
because they keep calling themselves. Don't you think so, Mrs. Burke?
Yeah.
I do, Mr. Burke.
I'm just surprised she doesn't go, you can only call me Mrs. Burke when you're perfectly incandescently happy. But no, thank God they skipped that horrible line. So it's, oh man. Guys, I think there's just one more thing to do in this podcast. And that's to apologize profusely for making you watch this horrible movie. This is the worst movie. Is this the worst movie we've ever watched?
This is definitely the one where I think we are having the hardest time pulling anything positive out of it.
I mean, I'm trying to think. Santa Fe Trail, we hated. It was problematic. It was badly problematic. I'm trying to think, I think there have only been one or two films in the entire podcast that we only gave one over to.
We've watched some bad films, but enjoyed ourselves doing it.
Yeah. Yes.
Like Santa Claus Conquers the Martians. That's not a good film.
It's a horrible film. It's so bad.
But I have such a good time watching it.
It's silly. It's funny, silly. And Santa Claus doesn't insult all of womankind. and Santa Claus doesn't racially profile criminals.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. No. So, I mean, just jumping right to ratings, I can't give it anything. I really can't. There's nothing to give it a 1 to hang your hat on. I mean, it's
that's
just
literally the lowest that we can do.
Right.
Which means there's a song for this. It goes, I can't give you anything but one, baby. You're the worst movie I've ever seen, baby. It's probably not the worst movie we've ever seen, but of movies we've reviewed, it is in definitely my lowest 3. I don't want to say the worst movie we've ever reviewed because I honestly don't remember all 12 years of movies at this point.
Yeah, there's been so many.
Yeah, but this is a contender for the worst. This is down there, guys. And honestly, I think it's a little bit funny because it's not even I'm not even walking, even though I'm deeply offended by certain things in this, I'm not, because this was made in 1935, and gosh, that was apparently a real crap time to be alive unless you were a certain demographic. We'll leave it there. This is not a platform. I mean, it is a platform. It's a movie platform. And so, I'm not, it's kind of funny, with the level of problems that are in this movie, I kind of expect to be angry when I'm done watching it, but the only thing I feel is, I'm glad it was short, like you're saying. Mm-hmm. And I'm really glad I never have to watch it again because the only other thing, you know what this movie would be great for? There is one thing that this movie would be great for. a drinking game. Like,
oh, okay.
Every time somebody says something intensely socially problematic, insults womankind, says something that you absolutely can't say anymore, you'll get canceled. That would be, you guys, this is the drinking game, or this is the movie for that drinking game. So there is one good thing about this movie. You can use it for a drinking game. Anytime somebody gives you a blatant red herring and you just groan and roll your eyes, take a drink.
Mm-hmm.
That's what this movie is good for.
Yeah, or eat a sardine if you don't drink or something. Keep it themed.
Take a drink of water. Yes, there you go. Eat a red herring. Take a drink of water. Keep hydrated. It's important. Oh,
yeah.
Gosh.
Yeah. I think that we've been misled by films too, but never so bad as this.
Yeah, this is extreme. So yeah, it's fun. It's fun to apologize and say, sorry guys, this is the worst movie. But honestly, but also it is nice to see movies in this era and go, yeah, you know what? There are some really crap movies that are made these days. There are some really crap movies that were made back in those days too. And so it's always a spectrum. There are really good movies, really bad movies, no matter what the era is that you're watching. It's fun to watch them, discover them, rate them, and rewatch the really good ones and let the not really good ones go, because you're gonna find some really good, really fun movies by watching ones that you've never heard of, and you'll find the occasional really cruddy one too. But even those, it's nice to be able to go back, and say, well, at least it wasn't Midnight Phantom.
Yes. That's exactly it. That'll be the at least for a while anyway. This is going to be the bar to which all other films have to surpass.
It couldn't, if it sinks lower than this, it's probably unwatchable. That's where we're at. This movie, I wonder if those missing 10 minutes would have made it easier to understand, but they could not have made it better to watch. Because what is there is so problematic. There is no rescuing this movie from being horribly offensive.
I think we're going to leave it with that. We'll end the discussion on Midnight Phantom and hopefully never have to mention it again.
I think you're right, though. I think, at least it wasn't Midnight Phantom. That's going to be our tagline. Maybe moving into 2026. At least it wasn't Midnight Phantom. Oh, guys, if you can think of a worse movie than this movie, please tag us and let us know. We might not watch it, but we'd love to hear your opinions. And
absolutely.
And if you have a movie that reminds you of this one but is significantly better, let us know about that one too, because I think we were really excited to watch a good crime drama, and this was not it. So if you guys can think of one, please let us know.
Please do. All right, as always, Lydia, it's a blast talking about it, even when the film is Midnight Phantom.
I agree. Thank you, Christopher.
So we will talk to everybody in another month. Thank you very much for listening. We'll just say goodbye.
Bye.